So today we're going to go out on a simple photo walk, and we're going to turn off all the automation. So no average metering, no rapid fire bursts, not program. We're going to shoot manual focus and manual exposure. And we're going to kind of go through my process and talk about some things you can do to kind of slow down your photography, think more about the creative process, and therefore, get better results. Now, granted, it's, a Saturday evening. It's like 7:15 in the evening, still pretty sunny out, but we're going on a basic walk. This is not going to be like, we're not going to walk away from this photo walk with something I'm going to print and put up on my wall. Part of this is the creative process. It's going out and going through the motions of using your camera and controlling the settings that really matters. So am I going to walk away with some incredible photos this evening? No, definitely not. But it's part of walking your mind through the creative process. It's kind of like why you go to the gym to work out. It's training, and you have to think of it as that. Because that way, when you're on a vacation or you're in a really nice place where the photos, you really want them to count, you really want to come back with something creative, you've exercised this muscle. So that way, you're going to come out of that with better results. So the training starts now, and it doesn't matter, same thing. I'm in my local park, nothing too fancy. I'm just going to walk around and see what I can find. Now, a couple things I'm going to do just that I've decided to do for today. I'm using my brand new lens I just got. So this is the 16-35 Panasonic Lumix S Pro f4 lens. So this is kind of like their top of the line, zoom lens. But what I'm going to do today is I'm only going to shoot at 35 millimeter. The lens goes from 16 to 35. But I'm going to limit myself just to using the 35 millimeter setting. So I'm not going to be zooming. And that's what you like to do is when you set up something like this and you're going to start doing a photo walk. See, I'll let the loud car with the radio go by. There we go. So what I'm doing is I'm setting the expectations in my mind, and I am going to stick to them because, again, this is like going to the gym. You're giving yourself exercises. So this is my exercise. I'm going to only shoot at 35 millimeter. I'm only going to shoot in manual mode, single exposure, so no burst rate stuff. I'm going to go to just regular average metering, so nothing fancy there, so that way I can control where the shadows and the highlights lie. And we're just going to go for it. So here we go. We're going to head out and we'll just see what happens. And again, too, think of this. This is a gym. You're working out your eye and your reaction and how you look and how you approach things. It's kind of a nice evening, not too bad. It's about 90 degrees so far, something about like that. All right, that's kind of an interesting spot. I'm gonna tilt the camera up a little bit. There we go. Let's see what we can find. And anytime that, I'm out and about and just kind of looking for things, one of the things I really like to look for is just look for the light specifically. So like in here, I don't know if you can see it, all these bird nests up underneath the bridge. Those are kind of cool. And again, like I said at the beginning of this, I'm only going to use a 35 millimeter lens. So something like this, you can't really see it too well from down here, but I'm going to see what I can find. Might not see it on camera. Yeah, it's going to be too hard to see from down here, so it's not going to have any impact, so I'm not going to shoot that. But I'm kind of liking the way the shadows are on these rocks here. Let's see what we can do. In fact, in looking at this, part of me is thinking this might be a good day to do some black and white stuff. So let's do that. Let's switch over here to black and white. Now, I really like the Leica monochrome system. So I'm going to go to monochrome. Check out, I'm kind of looking around here because right now it's kind of like rattlesnake season. So I need to kind of be careful I don't step on one. I mean, I grew up around here, so I'm pretty used to it, but still, you got to be careful. So let's see what we can find here. Yeah, okay. Kind of liking the texture on these rocks. There we go. Real dramatic. All right. So anytime when I'm in an area like this, I'm looking for something, what I'll usually do is just kind of stand, look around, see if I find anything. I'm going to keep walking, see what we can find. Again, here's a little area, kind of interesting. We've got a kind of a dark corridor with the trees. And as you'll see, there's a little kind of pool of light there at the end. That's kind of interesting. Let's see. Kind of like this a little more. Up in there, there's just a power pole in the background. So I don't really think that's okay. There's something. Okay, there's an old dead tree, and I kind of like the way the light's shining on that. Let's check it out. Okay. See how there's just this little piece of light just highlighting this tree only. Now, I've already kind of committed to black and white. So to kind of stick with our, the rules of shooting, since I started with that black and white, I'm going to do all of today in black and white, because that's kind of where I started at. So I'm going to stick to that exactly like if I was shooting a roll of film. And that's part of the mindset you need to take when you're looking at this. See, the texture on the bark here is kind of neat. I'm going to switch this here so I can hold the camera in front of me and you can kind of see what I'm seeing. So here's 35 millimeter. I really love the Leica monochrome black and white on the Lumix. Just fabulous. Also, real quick, since I'm here looking at this, something to take in mind. Whenever you're seeing something like this, just take a moment, stand here for a minute, look at the light, look at the background. See, if I were to come over here, got a little light, the texture of the bark there is kind of interesting, but really not what I have in mind. Even if I go here, I'm blocking that light because the light is coming from this way. It's coming from my direction. So I'm going to come around this side where the light's a little more dramatic on that. Okay. And I like this stump back here in the background. So let's see what we got here. Again, 35 millimeter. I'm going to move these branches out of the way. Okay. And I kind of like here, I don't know if you can see this on the camera. I'm holding the camera up kind of high. I'll tilt the screen down so maybe the camera can pick it up a little bit. But I'm liking this angle here with the light. All right. Oh, you know what? I just noticed I'm doing raw and JPEG. I don't want to do raw and JPEG. I just want JPEG. So I'm going to go here, go JPEG only. Yep, okay. Here we go. The light's already fading on that tree. See how quick that changed? All right, come a little closer. All right. And same thing, I'm shooting fully manual. So if we go back and view the image, here we go. As you can see, shooting manual. I'm going to try darken this up a little bit. Let's see here. Okay, shoot F4. Let's bring the, whoops. Oh no, I don't want to bracket. I just want to go here. Let's see, there we go. Okay, let's see here. Make it a little darker. Okay, that's where I like it. Shoot that. I'll tilt the screen down. Maybe the camera can pick up a little bit of what I'm seeing. I'm trying to get that stump back there in the background. I am shooting it at 4, so I've got that background a little bit out of focus. It's still there. There we go. All right, let's see what else we can find. Walk around a little bit. So as we kind of walk and talk here, one of the things you remember is before I even raise the camera, so even before I take a picture of anything, you really want to stand there for about 60 seconds. Just read the light. Don't do anything else. Just stand there, read the light a little bit. Because, you know, when you're traveling or running around, most photographers, they just arrive on location and they just immediately start shooting. You know, the camera goes up within the first 30 seconds. You capture what's in front of you. Not really what's, you know, interesting about it. And, you know, light has direction and it has weight. You know, there are shadows there that, you know, doing something specific, you know, like the way it's hitting this tree right over here or that, you know, if you miss it, if you start shooting before you really understand it, you know, so that's why I always like to spend, you know, and same thing when you're on vacation, you know, or you know, you're going to be in a location that's really important to get these shots. You know, I'll easily spend 20 minutes just taking shots in that area and making it kind of have some gravity to it and enjoy it. So the kind of the question I ask before I shoot is pretty simple. You know, where's the story in that light right now? You know, not later in Lightroom or Capture One or anywhere else. You know, where is it right here in this actual moment? Kind of interesting. Got an old pipe all rusted up, kind of interesting. But same thing. Unfortunately, there's no light on this right moment. It's in the shade, but it's kind of interesting to me. But I don't know if I kind of the inside, there's some like trash stuffed in there. Let me go walk around it. Let's see what's on the other side. So, and this is part of it. You find something interests you, don't just start shooting it. Actually look at it. Wander around. Ooh, blackberries. Here we go. They're not ripe yet. They look pretty bad. Okay. Yeah, see, I'm liking this a little bit better. Okay, interesting. Let's see what we can do. Again, we're shooting black and white. Kick the screen on back here. Oh. Let's see, I'm going to switch back. No, I want... Actually, I don't want LUTs. So we're going to turn off real-time LUT. I don't know why. I must have bumped it when I was walking. That's the one thing on the S1R2. I tend to bump stuff. This lock button is a godsend because there's so many buttons on this thing. When you're wearing it on your hip and you're walking around, yeah, you hit buttons and stuff just pops up. Like when I was trying to take a picture on that tree, while I was walking, I must have bumped something and it went on like multi-exposure mode for that, and it was just like, it started firing off. So that's why I kind of cut the video short. Okay, let's see what we got here. Whoops. See, out of habit, I started zooming. No, 35. Okay, stop zooming, Jason. Okay, I kind of like this here. I want a little bit of the skyline in this, though. I like the star thistle kind of growing out of it. It's really cool in black and white. Okay, here, but I want, see, I kind of need to balance this out because I want the skyline, but I want to show a little bit more of this pipe. So what do I need to do? I need to change my direction a little bit. So we're going to back up a little bit. Okay. See if that's better. There we go. That's kind of what I want. Here we go. And see how the star thistle, so it starts breaking. So right in here, it starts kind of breaking up the skyline. I want to kind of drop this down, be about right there. I want the skyline, some of it, but not all of it. Here we go. I'm liking that. I want a little more drama on this though. So let's go to underexposing it a bit. Let's go 2 stops under. Nope, doesn't like it. So yeah, if I do it that way, it's going to underexpose it maybe too much. So I'm going to swap things around a little bit. We're just going to go for a default. So I'm just going to go Here, get a good exposure first, because I do like this. Okay, now let's play around a little bit. So here, there we go, 100 ISO. Oops, see, I started zooming it again. Gotta stop that. Okay, here. Now, go there. Yeah, that's pretty good. And what I'm going to do is just going to pop up my shutter speed a little bit, because I still want it f4. I don't want to mess with the depth of field. I kind of like that the way it is. So I'm going to raise the shutter speed to darken it. So rather than using f-stop to lighten and darken it, I'm using the shutter speed, because I can hand hold this, because the IBIS, I mean, if I was going down to low stuff, it's no problem, but now we're going overexposed. But just so you can see, this is where tools like IBIS and some of those, they're not, even though they're part of that automation, they end up actually being they really help you. I'm liking this. All right, that's about 2/3 of a stop underexposed, not too bad. All right, I'm kind of liking where those were, but let's see what else we can find here. And you never know what you're going to find on a photo walk. Part of it's just kind of exploring, seeing what you can see. Case in point, holy crap, look at this. Oh, check it out. It's like a mini fingerboard skateboard. Okay, so I've never seen this here before. This is kind of cool. Look at that. Someone even left a little finger skateboard out here. Oh, that's wild. Look at that. Okay, this is kind of cool. All right. Same thing. You never know what you're going to find. The wheels are kind of janky. It looks like they're broken up pretty good, but let's do something here. Can we just... This is so cool. I've never noticed this sitting here before. There we go. You never know what you're going to run into, do you? Look at this. This is so cool. Look at that. As you can see, we're just right here on the edge of the canyon. And here's this little skateboard ramp. All right. I'm going to stick with 35 because I said I would. I'm going to back it up. Okay, I'm going to go up here. You know, it'll be better from the other side. So now I'm shooting this. Let's come over here and get kind of the, yeah, that's kind of cool. That's kind of neat with the background like that. I don't know if you can see this on the screen, on my camera screen. All right, so in this case, I'm going to go off of f4. I'm going to go 5.6 because I want the background to show a little bit in here. But the exposure is not going where I want it. I like my exposure a little bit darker. That's better. I like that. And again, I'm sticking with 35 millimeter. Oh, I moved it. I cheated. Okay, well, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, right? Okay, I turned it back to 35. See, there we go. That's such a habit. And see, that's what it's like. Okay, break yourself of those habits. Me included, as you can see. I gotta practice some more too, apparently. Sweet. Liking that. Exposure's good. I want a little more skyline. And that skyline, you see, that's going to wash out. There's no detail in there. I don't really care. That's why I'm only keeping it at the top half. I just wanted to show that, okay, there is a skyline there. There are the mountains in the background. There we go. Okay, that's badass. That's really cool. All right. Okay. Let's see what we're going to find next. I'll keep walking a little bit longer, see what else I can find. Okay, as I'm walking, I'll do a little chatting, just kind of fill this up so you can kind of see where I'm going, but also instruct. So like with the little skateboard ramp, with that, the skyline, I didn't really mind or care too much that that went, you know, overexposed a little bit. We'll see what it looks like on the screen. But again, I'm just shooting JPEGs because I want mistakes to be seen. So if I overexpose, if I work things out a certain way, I want to see those errors because that also will help you grow and get better. Yeah. Trying to think of anything else maybe I want to mention about it, but I'm just kind of enjoying the walk tonight. It's nice. But, you know, that's how it is. You know, when you're taking a picture, fill the screen, put only the stuff in it that you want. You know, let the shadows go where you want them to. If you want the shadows dark, you don't want to see stuff in there, just keep going. But take that shot. One frame. That's the discipline. Now, in this case, you know, you set it to continuous. Let it run, uneven still life like that. Take the images, merge them together, say a perfect exposure. Perfect exposure does not necessarily make a perfect photo. So that's it. You wanna let the act of shooting be in your control, not in the control of the camera. Nice night. I'm gonna keep walking. One of the hardest habits to break, I think, when it comes to your photography is really kind of breaking that I'll fix it in post mentality. You know, with 50 megapixels roughly, you know, in your hands, there's a lot you can do with cropping and changing things around and, you know, enhancing what you can. But when it comes to your frame itself, I really do like to treat the edges of a photograph. You know, whether you're going to be shooting, you know, like the X-band type of crop, or whether you're going square, or whether you're going, you know, micro four thirds, which I love so much. You know, decide then, you know, what's in the corner of the photo, what's in the edges, and approach it responsibly to how you want the image to end up, you know, right now when you're taking the image. Something shifts in your mind of, you know, that's where the borders are, that's where you want to go. Here's something kind of interesting. I could probably find something here, but like, for example, you know, you want to look at the corners before you commit to the photo, before you pull that shutter, before you take your picture. Commit to the exposure or the composition, I mean. Put it where you want. Let's see if we can find an example of that here. Okay, got my camera on. All right, let's see what we can find here. You know, because there's not much light here, kind of an industrial place. Oh, that's kind of cool. All right, I can do something there. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I kind of like these old corrugated metal doors with the brick. So let's see what we can do, use for that there. Okay, right on. Yep, we can do something here. Okay. Again, okay. All right, let's see what we can do. And because it's 35 millimeter too, you know, you can actually shoot through the fence a little bit. If you shoot like wide open and you focus on, yeah, we can do a little bit of that too. All right, let's see. So I'm at 35. So obviously I can't get any closer to this, not without a zoom. And I've committed not to zoom. So opposed to a couple times I've missed it. So how do I want to do this? How do I want to approach? I can go high, go through the barbed wire, but let me just tilt the screen so I can see a little bit better. That's fine. But again, I want to commit to these edges. So let's find where we want this. See, to me, over here where we have all the main equipment, it gets a little too busy. So I want to frame to this side. So we'll do that here. I don't really like the wires above it. So I'm going to lower this so it kind of crops out. Commit to the edges. Crop out what you don't want. Here we go. Let's see, I'm gonna change my exposure. That's too dark. This one I want a little bit lighter. Yep, there we go. I'm liking that better. I'm gonna focus on the shed itself. One shot. There we go. That's what I'm committing to. What else could I do here? I wonder if a vertical composition would be good here. Let's try it. Again, see here. No, I'm not liking it because I'm seeing all the power lines above it. Not too interesting, so I'm not even gonna shoot it. And that's something I actually do a lot of. And I think when I'm out shooting, that's one thing I would say that happens to me frequently where, you know, we're on vacation and I'm with the wife and my daughters and we're out and about. And I will see something I want to shoot and be like, oh, let's go take a picture of this. And then I'll go up and I'm like, nah, maybe not. And I won't take a picture. This happens a lot, but it's me deciding. And part of your reasoning is when not to photograph too. Okay, I kind of like in this little area here. The bummer is there's no light right now. But like in a morning shot with the light coming through here, that'd be kind of neat. I'll see it anyway. Let's just see what we got anyway. Yeah, nothing interesting at 35 millimeter. And same thing, I could come up close, crop it in a little bit, but this is a place where, you know, like you'd want a compression of a larger lens. But again, that's not what today's about. Obviously you can see I've got this beautiful view of the canyon and the American River below me. Oh, there's a little bit of light reflecting on the American River, but I got the power lines right in the way. And again, too, if this is a really important shot, let's just say it is. You're at the Grand Canyon or I don't know, somewhere else, and there's something in the way of your composition, and you really can't get it out of the way because even if I shift to the left or right, I can get it out somewhat, but it changes where the water is, everything else. You have to think about that. And that's one of the places where you can't get around it. It's part of it, but you don't want it there. Then yeah, that's a good case for going into Photoshop or going into Capture One and doing that. But getting it right here first is the bigger part of this. Okay, so I've kind of talked to you and walked you through some of the things I go through when I do a little photo walk to help train my eye. And what I kind of want to wrap up on is really a walk like this, and enjoying the outdoors is one of the many reasons I enjoy picking up a camera, because this gives me a chance to kind of get out, try a few things, train the eye. And same thing, it's a really pretty night. Is it great for photography? Not especially, but it's about going out and at least looking for things and honing your skill. You know, it's about kind of the quiet satisfaction of a couple good frames you like. And again, I'm not gonna I didn't come up with anything that I'm gonna, you know, hang up on my wall at the house. But because those images are made with intent, I've framed it this way. I've set up my shutter speed this way. Those kind of things you go through, that has meaning because it's helping you become a better photographer. And I think that's a big part of it. So just to recap, make sure you're reading light before you're shooting. Check it out. Stop what you're doing. Slow down. Look around you and kind of go for those things. And the nice thing is, you know, crop all the way to the corners. But remember too, none of this costs anything. It's going on a walk. It's honing your skill. It's training this. It's not about buying it's not about buying another piece of gear. It's about leveling up, honestly. And so I want to hear back from you guys. I want you to go take a photo walk of your own like this and tell me what you did. Maybe we can put together something where we post some photos together. But keep the camera in single shot mode, no bursting, no autofocus tracking. Before you raise the camera, take a moment, wait 30, 60 seconds to kind of evaluate the light and see where you want to be and just read what the light's doing. So then come back, tell me in the comments what you did, how you're approaching it. What did you come into that was a problem? And let's talk about it and let's grow this. Because, you know, these videos are to help you, but it's to help me too, you know, because I love photography so much and I want the skill level of today's photographers and to be up to par with what I would experience. Not that they're not now, but you know, it's just an old man rambling. Oh, that wasn't like I used to. Anyway, you know what? If you have been watching my videos a long time, yeah, you know I ramble. Sorry, it's non-negotiable, I ramble. Anyway, have a great day. I had a great evening. Now I'm gonna head home, kick back, relax, and well, work on a video to get this up and running for you guys. Have a great evening. Bye. Yeah, one little thing more to remember when you go on a photo walk in the evening and you're tired, it's been a long day, you gotta walk back when you're done. Oh, this is one heck of a hill. Okay. I think the end of this video is going to end with a nice ice cold beer when I get home. Maybe just water and I'll fall over into the pool, one of the two.